Welcome to a world made of cardboard assembles. Today I'm going to do a video where I assemble the FLATS 4D art puzzle of Shin Gojira, or as we call it in America, Shin Godzilla. I'm not sure when the puzzle was released, but the date stamp on it says 2024. Recently, a friend of mine at work, Colton, took a trip to Japan. I jokingly asked him to get me a Godzilla toy. He surprised me with this fantastic puzzle. I'm not sure how he knew I liked making things out of cardboard and paper, but he did know that I like building things. So when he saw this, he said, "This is what I'm going to get him." The model is made out of corrugated cardboard. They are laser cut shapes into the black sheets of cardboard that when you press them out and assemble them, it makes a figure model of Shin Gojira. I have never assembled a model like this, but I've always wanted to. I find the concept of just putting layers together and then it eventually makes a shape very fascinating. So I thought this would be a good model to start with. The instructions were simply pictures of the shapes held up where they were floating like they were going together. But sometimes it was really difficult to figure out exactly where they went. But eventually I got there. This model is of Shin Godzilla, based on the movie that was released in 2016. Over the years there have been several different versions of Godzilla, but he's always been a bipedal lizard. These screen caps from TohoKingdom.com show the various forms of Godzilla from 1954 all the way up till 2014. For most of Godzilla's history, an actor in a rubber suit represented Godzilla. He would walk around and stomp on miniatures and fight other monsters in the movie series. Most of these movies are standalone episodes, so they don't have any relation from one movie to the next. There have been movies that were direct sequels though. And in recent years, Godzilla is represented by CGI and not an actor in a suit. Shin Godzilla was probably one of the most radically different versions of Godzilla in any of the movies. This was the first time we actually saw Godzilla evolve throughout the movie. His body was growing and changing, sometimes in most disturbing ways. Godzilla's final form actually looked like he had breaks in his skin where you could see the blood and the tissue underneath his black skin. This final form was the bipedal lizard with which we were all familiar. In my personal opinion, Shin Gojira is probably one of the best Godzilla movies ever made. Everything from the story to the art direction to the plot to the special effects to the score, everything in the movie just brought out this fantastic creature. Now let's see if I can put the creature together. I found I spent most of my time looking at the map of where the parts were located and trying to find them on the sheets of cardboard. Though each part is numbered, they weren't put in a sequential order on the sheets of cardboard. Though it got easier as I went along to find the parts, it was mostly because I was familiar with the sheets and how they were laid out. Toward the end, the parts that formed the tail were put in a sequential order, but it was a long time getting to building the tail. I had planned just to record my assembly and then load everything up pretty much raw on YouTube so you would see how long it took to build this model. Most of the video I recorded was just me staring at sheets of cardboard trying to find the part I needed. I decided that wouldn't be very interesting for a YouTube video. So instead, I just show a short clip of the video and show the time for that entire length of that video. I actually thought I spent a lot more time building this thing than I did. Some videos are really short, some videos were really long. There were also times when I began looking for a part so intently, I just decided to stop the video and try to find it because it was just taking so long to find that part. I worked on this model off and on for the better part of 2 days. I was really impressed at how well the parts fit together. They would slide in perfectly when you were putting them in the correct location. and that sometimes took a little while. The instructions, as you saw, were just the parts floating in the air and not really showing exactly which slot went where. There were times it was just trial and error. There were also times that I would put the parts in upside down or inverted or in a different slot, and things just weren't working, so I'd have to start over. I actually had to take one entire segment of the arm apart and put it back together again because I was putting it together wrong. Something else about this kit that's rather interesting is the smell. Where Colton and I work, there is a fabrication lab that has laser cutters that cut cardboard, balsa wood, and other various materials. This kit smells like that lab. It's really fascinating. So this kit was obviously made with laser cutting technology. When finished, I had 2 hours and 45 minutes of video. But this does not include the time that I wasn't recording any video. I know on the first day I spent about 4 hours off and on working on this model. The next day I spent about 2 hours working on it. But most of that 2 hours is included in the video that you see here. In short, I probably spent at most about 4 to 5 hours working on this model. I'm not sure if this length of time is standard for this type of model. As I said earlier, I've always wanted to build a model like this, just never have. When Colton bought this one, since he's a good friend and he bought me something that was really, really impressive, I thought, why not let this be my first model? Was it complicated? Yes. Was it difficult? Yes. But is it neat and really cool when finished? Oh yes. This cardboard makes a perfect model to represent Shin Godzilla. The interior parts of the cardboard being brown and the exterior being black, this almost looks like the rough skin of Shin Godzilla. Special thanks for Colton for getting me this really nice model of Shin Gojira. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.